So the next section, he moves down the fretboard towards the first or third fret. The whole beginning that we were doing, you know, was up here pretty much, but the meat of what was happening was, you know, it was around this 8th fret position, where if you have a dominant 7 chord there, you have that, or, you know, you think of your C minor pentatonic. Right? Well, now he's down here, and the C dominant shape that most people learn is the 3rd fret A string, 2nd fret D string, 3rd fret G string, and then 1st fret of the B string. So starting with the A string, it's 3, 2, 3, 1. And the reason I point out that shape is because he really starts outlining that shape in this next lick, if you see what's going on. So he basically bends the 3rd fret of the G string up a whole step. So you're bending from the flat 7 to the root, which is a great little bend. Then he does this slide, and he actually slides from the 4th fret, which is the major 7, but he bends that up a half step a little bit. So he actually does get that root note. But then you hear these wishy-washy notes, which just sound so cool. So you have, right? So he's going from the 4th, 3rd, 2nd, open, all on the G string, with that 4th fret being bent up a half step. So you have, and then he just does this cool little, and that's where you could really see that dominant 7 shape happen. So he's going from the minor 3rd to major 3rd and the flat 7, and that's just right. And then the next few notes really emphasize the chord again. So you have, he bends that up again a whole step, and he hits that C note, which, right? So you can really see that shape. And the reason why I'm really spending time on this and emphasizing that is because that's a great way to go about soloing. You don't have to think about chords. You could think, or scales and licks and all this. You could look at those chord shapes and work around those and target the notes within those chords, and it really makes for some really cool stuff. So after that, and he just slides up. Then he goes, and this is where he again outlines the dominant 7 chord. So now you have, say, a dominant 9 chord. Right, starting on the 15th fret, you have 15 on the A string, 15, 14, 15, 15, 15. That's your dominant thing. He just does again, sliding from the minor 3rd to major 3rd. And then he grabs that 17th fret on the G string, which is the root, the C note, pivots back down in the major 3rd. And then he just walks up that chord shape. And then he goes, that's where he gets a little outside. He gets that note, which is a flat 5. And then you get this note, which is this major 6 to the flat 7, right? So there's only really one note that's outside of the scale, that flat 5. But it gets, just for a second, you get that outside sound. But he's really just thinking a chord shape. And then the rest of that, really, again, he kind of goes down, down an arpeggio shape, which this can look like just your major bar chord, your major, right? Then all this kind of slidey stuff. You could look at that as your 5th position of C minor pentatonic. and he's just throwing in. Then you have this on the G string, the 17, 19, 20 to the major third. So you land on the minor third and the major third, and then you just continue up the pentatonic. And then he adds a little bend and slides off. So you have the whole thing. Right? And that's it, really. Then he gets into some pentatonic stuff. But the cool thing there is if you look at that little, it's a ton of notes, but that ending part, you could do that in, say, you have A minor pentatonic here. We'll go the shape behind, right, and just start out. Right? And that's the same exact lick. Minor third to major third, right? Right? So that's a bunch of ideas. Again, we walked through it really, really quickly. If you guys want more detail on this kind of stuff, feel free to hit me up for some Skype lessons or something. I tried to go into as much detail as I possibly can, but not make this too long of a lesson. But really get out of this those little shapes he's doing, those little chromatic passing things, all those little devices he's using, also the outlining of chords, a dominant 7 chord here, or even here. Right? Really cool techniques, and Shawn is the man. He's just a monster. So I hope you guys like this. Again, give us a comment if you want to let us know that you like this. Also give a thumbs up and share this video. That really helps us out. We appreciate it. And we'll see you on the next lesson. We got a ton more Shawn stuff coming up. Keep putting it out there, Shawn, because we keep stealing it from you. All right, thanks again.